Are we on?
Yep, we're on.
Welcome to Surrender Lab, everybody. Can you see our heads right here?
Yeah, you should be able to get that level.
Yeah, right now we see. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it should look good. Yeah, our microphone's all good. Looks good for me.
Well, here we are again.
Here we are again.
Tonight is our fluid night.
Fluid.
Getting ourselves all melty, finding the edges and becoming more fluid. So what do we want to say before we go?
Let's see. Tonight, I'm thinking we're going to kind of focus on, the upper shoulders and neck area, or the throat chakra, if you will. I don't think we put one night. I don't think we actually had one specifically towards that yet.
We did.
Maybe we did a while.
We did one.
Okay.
The upper thoracic. And
here we are cycling back, I guess then.
Although we only covered it for, I think, maybe 15 minutes.
Cool. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to start out with just a nice, 15, 20-minute meditation. Just get ourselves nice and sensitive. And then we're going to move into some more movement kind of stuff and showing off and talking about various different things we do inside of ourselves and with our bodies. Because, a lot of what we're doing is a lot more than just, physically putting our body in places. It's much more of a mental and physical game going on. It's all very connected.
Learning how to become fluid and making every single movement a meditation in and of itself.
Another thing I wanted to talk about, with a lot of people I meet, most people I meet are holding some kind of tension up in their shoulders and neck. And a lot of here, their neck. And I think that a lot of that comes down to people being afraid of speaking their truth and being their authentic selves without fear of being judged. That's really a lot what I want to talk about tonight, and I'm going to go a little more into that as we kind of go more into our movement stuff. But
Beautiful.
Yeah, let's just begin with
Let's
our
do it.
beginning
Let's
meditation.
start.
So just find yourself a comfortable position, somewhere you can just sit for a little while without maybe falling asleep. Just start by taking a deep breath. Really just taking that breath all the way in and releasing it all the way out. Just letting
I mentioned early on here that it makes, for me, it's become an easier way to stay present during my all day things that I'm doing if I will remember that every single in-breath I'm receiving new information. I'm training myself to receive every time I breathe, and then when I remember it, and then on the exhale, releasing all the old. And so you're practicing value new and old in every single breath. There's nothing wrong with any of it, but all those tensions that are built up in us, we're just wanting to learn how to let go. And that's what the whole concept of surrender is your breath just naturally happens, but if you can take your awareness to it and just breathe in the new, breathe out the old, you start to get into this place where you're just really fluid inside of your breath, and you can match that fluid breath to your body movements. And that's
can really just add a lot to that, It is a little, there is more to breathing even than just focusing on the breath, where you are, in the real sense, you're receiving with the breath when you breathe in, you're releasing with the out breath. But you can add that into so many more spaces in your body, receiving the new, the metaphor in the metaphorical sense and literal sense of taking in the new, releasing the old, what no longer serves you anymore. And we breathe out, we take it, we release the toxins that our body doesn't need anymore. And we're constantly doing that with our breathing and with various cycles of our minds and bodies and organs.
creating a healthy environment for ingestion and excretion of errors and complainants. One in all of our cells.
Yeah, sorry about that. I can. Here. Let me just take that.
We'll just slide them over, that was good. That way it's under the
Okay.
But I could feel it like a pea under the
I see.
mattress.
Yeah, that would be no fun for you.
I actually thought about that earlier. Put that underneath there. I thought, it's gonna feel a little bit like noticeable.
Hopefully by now you found a comfortable enough position, and we've probably talked enough by now. For the next little bit, just enjoy receiving these vibrations. In this moment, just allowing yourself to get more and more sensitive to what's going on in your mind and body. Feeling all of your emotions, observing all of your thoughts, watching as your sensory input changes.
Maybe you may get a really good sense for how your whole body feels right now, so that you can compare it to how you feel afterward. Just kind of like just remember what you feel right now, all in your whole body, and then be able to go back to this as a reference point. I always enjoy doing that because it shows me
sitting for longer periods of time, just being aware, you might find that your mind is a bit jumpy, a bit hard to control. And that's okay. You just haven't been practicing the skill yet. Every time you notice that you were no longer paying attention, and in the present moment, you're off thinking somewhere, and every time you notice that and bring yourself back to wherever you would like to be, that's really strengthening your mind. Every time you notice that your mind's off somewhere, you're strengthening that ability to notice when your mind is trying to pull you.
That's also a habit of our everyday thinking, the way our minds are working every day. It's a habit we get stuck in.
Right.
With meditation, learning to turn those off, getting better at it also helps us.
Yeah, absolutely. During our day-to-day life, we're just naturally inclined to always be going from the next thought to the next, each action ending and immediately going to our next task without really any space in between the thoughts. And we can go all our whole lives without ever really noticing that we're doing that. And that's, the practice of meditation is really kind of strengthens that space in between your thoughts. It can give you a quick reprieve from the chaos of your mind.
Little escape to your mind beach.
Yeah, escape to your mind beach. Or your cocoon. I used to always think about that. I had an image in my mind for a very long time of this small kind of space, this cozy space. It's kind of disconnected from the world. Had some nice little trinkets in it that meant some things to me. And it was just a space you could always go to at any time. And you could call it your happy place, or all this, how many different words you could call it, but you really do have the choice on where your awareness goes.
Right, it just takes practice.
Right, it just takes practice. A lot of this.
Building new habits.
Yeah, I talk to some people new to meditation. They say, I can't meditate, I can't control my mind, I can't get it to be silent. It really just comes down to not having practice yet. And it
Not
can be,
quite patient yet.
yeah, not usually it's haven't been patient enough to see the benefits yet.
Right. And focus on something else, like your breath.
Right,
And then you get to the point where you can just shut it off.
right.
Stare into the dark.
Because for a while, it feels like a struggle of concentration until one point you're just observing and listening. And that stressful feeling of effort really goes away. But usually when I first started meditating, I felt like it was an effort for a very long time. But as I kept practicing, eventually it just kind of clicks that there is no effort at all to stay present. You're just there already, and you're just being it.
My place I used to go, and I still do, is what do I see with my eyes closed? And I'll focus on that.
Ooh, I like that, yeah.
It's really nothing, but I've created lights
that's actually something I really didn't start leaning into for a long time, to look at the darkness when you have your eyes closed. It was just something I had never thought of. And when I started doing it, you honestly find rainbows in the dark. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's definitely there.
It just happens effortlessly as soon as you realize that being instead of thinking is a real thing that you can just do. It's effortless to be. And then all the rest of it's like we're just getting gifted all those little lights and stuff.
The next little bit, I'd like you to take your awareness to your neck and shoulders area and really feel it. Feel that area and just feel if you're holding any kind of tension there. You might, be unknowingly, subconsciously holding tension. I actually am right now. I'm gonna move my position. Feel free to move, like you just watched me find some tension in my shoulder and move around my whole body, kind of accommodate for my newfound release. And I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna keep my awareness there. Notice the micro tensions that I'm still holding. Right now I'm feeling it in the kind of lower part of my shoulder, kind of in the lower part of the rotation cuff kind of area. I'm just feeling a little bit of just maybe a couple muscles that are just a little bit tense. It's not that I'm intentionally holding them, but it's almost more like the way I'm holding my body isn't balanced, and it's keeping that place tense. So as I focus on that place, I'm not going to put any effort towards this. I'm just going to put my awareness on this feeling of tension. And allow my awareness to expand out around that spot, feeling my entire body at the same time with that tension. And usually about right as I do that, my body will start feeling, I just felt kind of 2 little clicks in my hip right as I did that, and my center of balance just became better just by moving my awareness there. It can really be that simple, and I can keep staying in that area to find more micro tensions, keep releasing them. So let's just play with that for a little bit. The level of relaxation that is in a lot of ways deeper than when trying to go to sleep, but still not releasing all of the tension. You see me sitting like this, I have to hold some amount of tension in my body lest I just fall to the floor, right? But though I'm holding tension, I don't see it as effort I'm doing. It's almost more linked to my intention of staying up than it is to my feelings of effort towards keeping my body up. Intention is very powerful when we're doing any kind of practice, self-healing practice, because your intention is where you're going to, your intention is going to affect your end goal, or I guess your end goal affects your intention. Kind of goes together. You want to be clear on exactly when you sit down to give yourself some self-care, some love, some healing, that you know what and why you're doing it. And it doesn't have to be a complex reason of why. I want to feel healthier. That's a great reason. That's a great reason of why. So when you go in with these whys beforehand, when, pain comes up, and you want to shy away from it, your why can come back up and be stronger than that initial reaction.
It's a really, really important point right there. Facing our edges, learning how to tap into true strength instead of false empowerment. It's all external focus. True strength is inside. False empowerment is outside.
Often, people will talk about feeling a lump in their throat when they want to say something but don't. That lump is very real. It's an actual thing. Energetic, muscles, it's all kind of connected in all these ways. But, when you can really hold what you want to say, you can hold what people have said about you, you can hold what you want to say to people, all in your body, just waiting for it to be released by some kind of trigger. And a lot of the times, that trigger you want never comes, and it ends up just affecting the way you react to the world. And it's a lot easier to just let go of all that. And, when you do respond to the world around you, it's not from a place of past judgment and expectation. It's from a place of how is it right now and what needs to be done, what needs to be said in this moment with this person or this energy. And it can be really hard to speak your authentic truth. Like, even if you follow back even in these videos, you'll notice, all of us speaking differently as we started and becoming looser as we go, being more willing to express how we feel, because even though I may have been working on these parts in my body for a while, I may not have had the words or the courage to express the feelings out into the world. With all my words, it really just comes down to being your authentic self. If that's speaking loudly, that's speaking loudly. If it's staying quiet, it's staying quiet. It all depends on how you feel truthfully in the moment. That can be right or wrong, but that's all just for learning. It's all some more data you can take in. You can always have the choice.
Is it right or wrong?
No, it's not right or wrong, whatever you do. It's not right when you make a choice. It's never right or wrong. But it is always an opportunity to learn.
I love what you're saying about the speaking your truth, Ash. I feel like inside of myself it has taken the biggest turn for feeling like I'm even more self-care and matching that to being a receptive thing. There vibrating is a receptive thing, but a vibrating resistant still got some level of fixation or violence or whatever you want to call it inside of it. I'm trying to actually let go. So taking our awareness to the idea that, hey, I'm just going to let my whole entire body right now be receptive, receptive, receptive instead of resisting anything. What is the tension in our bodies but resisting what is?
Alex, we just settle down for another second. We're just about to move into some movement. Tonight is about the throat chakra. And really the main point we're driving home tonight is speaking your truth and being willing to be your authentic self without fear of judgment. Randy, can I have you come play pools for a minute? There's so many great ways to find the tension that you're still holding in yourself. We're kind of talking about you can really find the lump in your throat. Like if you want to say something and you don't, you feel that lump. It's really real, right? And it's this resistance. It's this holding on to past of what you believe you need to say or what you don't want to say, what you do want to say to someone. It all just comes down to what you're holding. And it's just not worth holding. It's much easier to release all that and just respond to the world in a more truthful manner.
Yeah, it's not that it's always easy to tell the truth. It's often harder sometimes, but it's better to tell the truth.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to put that.
We penetrate through our own fear bubbles. It's that fear that keeps us paralyzed, keeps us resisting instead of receiving.
Right now I'm going to kind of move into some postures that I really like to lean into, specifically when working on kind of my shoulders and neck area. Because what these kind of positions do is they put a little more pressure in that area and it kind of makes your tensions a little more obvious to you, or potentially can. We're going to start like this. And I don't know the technical names for all these, so I'm just going to kind of talk about them. You sit in kind of a square position with your arms and legs, and you kind of arch your back all the way up. And just stay there for a couple breaths. Turn the camera, can see me better. And maybe a little bit of discomfort's okay. You want to stay with that and give it your awareness. As I was talking about earlier, you want to give it that awareness and stay with that uncomfortable feeling and expand your awareness to your whole body. So your body can kind of wrap around that space and mitigate it out. Really sharp, bad pain, probably we're not really looking for that. We're looking for, that subtle pushing your edges.
Yeah, lovingly leaning into our edges.
Yes. So now you can just go from here, just arch your back the other way. Just staying here, really feeling any amount of resistance we might have. Our body is moving this way. At the same time, this is extending our range of motion, This isn't necessarily a position we're doing on a daily basis. So when your body does this, if you're not very flexible, your body might respond in a way that's saying, whoa, why are you doing that now? But just stay with it and be gentle with yourself. You don't need to push yourself any further than you desire, really. It's no one else's path but your own. Let's see. I actually have a whole list of things for this tonight.
Oh, yes.
You know, there's great poses. Put a lot of emphasis on your shoulders and neck. You know, you can do this. I like this one. I haven't done this in a little while, actually. Oh yeah, I'm totally. I should have positioned myself better. This is getting pretty hard. This is being pretty difficult for me, actually. I'm just gonna stay with my breath. Feel all the different places in my awareness that feel like they need to be moved to make this a little more comfortable. Slow, subtle movements. Being mindful of all of your body movements and feelings. And just relaxing, surrendering, letting go. The longer you stay in, a tough position, the more bandwidth you're building for yourself for really even the next time you do it, or moving on to, giving yourself the knowledge that you can push through hard things in your life. That kind of discipline is so powerful. It can get you through so much in the world.
Learn how to turn every agitation into your own activation, or pain into power, or however you want to see it. Just gotta stay there long enough. It builds patience. Just learning how to give love to every part of ourselves.
It's about to go down, but I'm going to stay here a bit longer, just for myself. I really feel like this is a pose I haven't put enough effort into, and really want to balance myself out right here. I'm just holding that forever. That's crazy. Just now, it kind of got to this point where, the uncomfortable feeling got to this point where I didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I know I'll come back to it later, but it's no rush. And I know that I just pushed myself very far and don't need to overexert myself in that area. We're going to flip over for the next one. Let's see. I think that I just absolutely love just classic downward dog. So good for the shoulders especially. It's almost like doing a plank, but a little curved up.
It's not a plank, it's a bow.
It is a bow.
It's the rainbow maneuver.
Let's stay in here for 5 or so breaths, maybe more. Really depends on you. But I encourage you to push yourself. Not overexert yourself, but try to push yourself past what you think you can do right now. You can be pretty surprised, how uncomfortable these positions can get. But if you really stay with them,
you feel ready, you just come down out of it.